We are trapped. For all our posturing, for all our triumphs, humanity remains an island civilization. We have dipped our toes into the cosmic ocean, sending our robotic emissaries, like Voyager, past the heliopause and into the dark. But to reach the stars, to truly become an interstellar species, we are paralyzed by the tyranny of distance. Consider this: the nearest star system, Alpha Centauri, is 4.37 light-years away. To the universe, that distance is a handshake. But to us, it is an abyss. If we boarded our fastest chemical rockets today, the journey would take 75,000 years. That is not a mission, that is an epic. Entire civilizations would rise and fall on Earth before the crew even reached the halfway point. Chemical propulsion is a dead end. It relies on breaking molecular bonds, burning fuel. It is the cosmic equivalent of trying to cross the Pacific Ocean on a raft made of burning wood. The energy density simply isn't there. To break the chains of Soul, we don't need a better rocket. We need a new physics. Enter antimatter. In 1928, the physicist Paul Dirac revealed a stunning mathematical symmetry in the fabric of the universe. He predicted that for every particle of matter, every electron, every proton, there exists a mirror twin, an antiparticle, identical in mass, but opposite in electric charge. It sounds like science fiction. It is scientific fact. When matter and antimatter meet, they don't just break, they annihilate. Conventional nuclear weapons are actually incredibly inefficient. They convert only about 0.07% of their mass into energy. But antimatter, it is 100% efficient. It releases the total sum of energy locked inside the mass, adhering strictly to Einstein's famous equation. To give you a sense of this terrifying scale, 1 gram of antimatter contains the energy of an atomic bomb. A piece the size of an M&M candy contains enough potential energy to propel a starship not just to the moon, but to the very edge of the solar system. So, how do we harness the most volatile substance in existence without vaporizing ourselves? We cannot use solid fuel tanks. If antimatter touches the physical walls of an engine, the ship is destroyed instantly. We must suspend the fuel in nothingness. We use pinning traps, complex magnetic bottles that keep the antimatter suspended in a high vacuum, levitated by magnetic fields, completely isolated from normal matter. The design is known as the beam core antimatter engine. When we are ready to accelerate, we inject a stream of antiprotons into a cloud of hydrogen gas. The annihilation doesn't just produce light, it produces a shower of exotic particles called pions. This is the critical detail. Roughly 60% of this energy becomes charged pions. Because they carry an electric charge, we can grab them with magnetic fields. We use a magnetic nozzle to focus these charged pions into a tight beam, shooting them out the back of the ship at nearly the speed of light. The result is a specific impulse, the efficiency of the rocket, that is millions of times higher than chemical fuel. With this engine, the 75,000-year crawl to Alpha Centauri is cut down to 4 decades, a human lifetime. It makes the stars achievable not for our descendants, but for us. But if the physics is sound and the engineering is plausible, why aren't we packing our bags? Because antimatter is the most expensive substance in history. It is a resource that does not exist naturally. We have to forge it, particle by particle. Currently, at CERN, our greatest particle accelerators run for years to produce mere nanograms. To make a single gram of antiprotons with today's technology would cost roughly $62 trillion. To make this engine a reality, we must move production off Earth. We cannot burden our planetary grid. We need vast solar arrays orbiting close to the Sun, harvesting the raw fury of our star to power massive particle colliders in space. We need to become a Type 1 civilization to master the fuel of a Type 2 civilization. We must industrialize the solar system to reach the galaxy. The antimatter engine is not magic. It is not fantasy. It is physics waiting for engineering to catch up. The barrier is not the laws of the universe. The barrier is our own energy and economics. But we must ask ourselves, what is the price of survival? What is the value of curiosity? One day, the sun will expand and swallow the Earth. If our species is to survive deep time, we cannot stay here. We must cross the abyss. We must tame the positron and the antiproton. We must light the fire that burns with the power of creation itself. I am your name, and this is the future of us.